An accused credit card thief picked the wrong guy when she used Steve Noviello's Visa account to check into a local hotel.
Yeah, and this is why he actually managed to track her down, call the cops, and then confront her face to face.
You picked the wrong guy.
If you've ever felt ticked off,
I didn't pick you, huh?
ripped off,
Who did?
or feared fraud, this is your moment.
Who picked me, Farrah?
A face-to-face encounter with the person accused of stealing your credit card information.
Are you Farrah?
This is Farrah Parks, and she's accused of stealing mine.
Credit card numbers get stolen many different ways.
How did the cops know? I tipped them off. Thanks to a fraud alert I placed on my account, I got this notice that someone may be trying to use my Visa card to pay for a room at the Hilton Garden Inn in Richardson.
Fortunately, the people that used your credit card, they stayed at the hotel.
And that chance to track them down is what prompted me to investigate. After I contacted Visa, I called the Hilton, explained the situation, and asked if anyone had checked in using my name. The clerk said no. So I asked him to run my credit card number against any recent payments. Bingo, someone had checked in to room 239, Farrah Parks. At check-in, she presented a card with her name on it. When the magnetic strip wouldn't swipe, the account number was entered manually. Turns out that account number was my account number.
It takes a special kind of person to actually manufacture a credit card. You have to have special equipment for that.
It's all spelled out in this police report. I called the cops, sent them to her room.
We were able to go there. The people were still at the hotel.
And headed to the hotel.
I'm Skip.
I'm Steve. Nice to see you. What's going on?
To try and meet her.
I would love to be able to chat with these folks. Is that possible?
Probably not at this time.
While I couldn't get permission for police to facilitate a meeting, this was all happening in a public space. So, armed with my iPhone and that room number, 239, I went upstairs and waited for Farrah to come to me.
Did you use my credit card to check into your room?
Your credit
Are
card?
you Farrah?
I am Farrah, but I do not use a credit card. I use a card with my name on it.
How did you pay to get into the room?
I'm not gonna...
Can you help other consumers by letting us know how you did this? Did you use it online?
I actually got it from TV.
Where'd you get it?
I'm not gonna talk about it.
I'm hoping you can help me to protect other people from this happening to them too. We got a quick ride down, Farrah. I'd love your help. I've got charges with your name on it for your room for 3 days. I'd love for you to be able to help me, Farrah. Where are you from? Are you local?
I just made bad choices over there.
Okay, I appreciate your apology, and I'm just hoping you might be able to help me. I'm gonna come and make a request to visit you after you get arrested and we can talk, okay?
Farrah declined my request for that jailhouse interview. I was hoping she might shed some light on what made me, a guy who makes a living protecting consumers, a good mark, and how did she get my number?
Anybody can be the victim of identity theft or credit card abuse. I mean, we've had employees here at the police department that have become victims.
The fact is, we're all targets. As long as we use credit, we can only minimize risk. ID theft can happen at any time. But the chance to meet the person who's gained access to your account, that
You picked the wrong guy.
comes only once.
Now, Farrah has only been charged with the crime at this point, not convicted. At last check, she is still in jail in Collin County. I mentioned there are ways you can minimize your loss and risk. One of them is to always choose credit instead of debit at checkout for an added layer of protection. Or you can do what I did, place a fraud alert on your credit or even a freeze. Now, it's going to add extra steps when you want to open up new accounts for yourself, but it also just proved pretty valuable when it comes to catching someone in the act. You want to see the full unedited version of my unscheduled elevator interview? A link is right now on my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/SaveMeSteve.
That was incredible to see that playing out on camera, Steve. You mentioned, okay, she had an actual credit card with her name, but it was your account, but the magnetic strip didn't work. That was an important part of this,
You know, it's
right?
interesting. It allows her to use the card in person with very little additional information. She presented what was essentially her card, her name, her ID, all to the clerk. The strip wouldn't swipe. The number was entered manually, and that's all it took because the account number was good. That's the good part, right? By using the card in person, she didn't need any additional information like my address like you would use if you were using it online. Take a minute and watch the unedited video online. She keeps saying, I used a card with my name on it, and she did. She had an actual credit card printed, her name, my account.
your account number. So how'd she get the number?
You know, no idea. The hope here is that her arrest will lead us to the folks who are manufacturing the cards, right? But the breach could have been from anything. A person who wrote down my card number, one of those big data breaches we talked about last year. What triggered the fraud alert, and this is usually how the crooks test out an account, a very small charge, maybe $1, maybe $2. My account was charged $1 at a plumber in New York City at 2 a.m. By 3:30 in the morning, hundreds of dollars charged at that hotel in Richardson here in Texas. And because, again, I was quick to respond to the alert and immediately did some digging by calling the hotel, not just to run my name, but the actual account number. That's what allowed me to tell the cops where to find her. Police tell us that catching somebody while they are actually using your card is extremely rare. You don't normally notice the charges until what? A month later when you get the bill, right? And really, that's what this story is about. I can't make you immune to identity theft, but I know for each of us who this has happened to, you're left wondering who's doing this, right? And you never get to find out. Well, tonight, we came face to face.
I can't believe how calm you were during your.
Yeah.
It was a conversation.
You know,
so tell me how you did this. I don't know that I would have been quite so calm.
You know, we all make mistakes. I'm quite sure this woman has a tough road ahead of her. She doesn't need me belittling her on top of that. She was gracious enough to speak with us. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have learned more to talk to her while she was in jail, but that just wasn't in the cards for us.
Sure.
No pun intended.
Incredible story, Steve. Thank you.
Yep.